Hey everyone, my name's Nicole Tidman. I'm new to YouTube and really excited to start this journey. Today's look is inspired by Jeffree Star's Blue Blood palette, so it's a very wearable, easy look for you guys to achieve. If you want to see how I did this, please continue to watch, and if you like my artistry, please like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. The first thing I'm going to use is the MAC 24-Hour Eye Base. This will ensure that makeup stays on all day. So I'm just going to grab a little bit. Probably no more than about that amount for your eye. And just pop that on the lid. So today I'm going to be using the Jeffree Star Blue Blood palette. And we're going to do an everyday makeup look. So the first shade I'm going to grab in this palette is going to be Celebrity Skin. And I'm just going to grab that color on any kind of blending brush, something like this that's dome shaped, and go ahead and start building that up in the crease. So I like to use back and forth motions to make sure everything is really blended in there. The 24-hour eye base creates a really tacky surface for your eyeshadow to stick to, so sometimes you have to make sure you go with a really fluffy brush so it doesn't really grab and hold on to certain spots and give it that kind of splotchy look. Okay, now I'm going to warm this up with a little bit of Untouchable in the palette. Got a little bit more of a pink salmon base to it, so kind of make it a little bit more wearable. Not so cool. So I'm just going to go right over where I put the first crease color to kind of blend it out. And I grabbed this on a brand new, fluffier blending brush. Now I'm going to go back in with the Celebrity Skin color and kind of deepen up that crease color just a little bit more. So now on my whole lid, I'm going to go with Crystal Flesh, which is this color right here. It's kind of like a champagne toned, almost a little bit taupey of an iridescent color. I'm just going to grab now a flat eyeshadow brush and just pack this straight onto my lid. So putting this on in a packing motion will keep that pigment very strong, and it'll also make it look a little bit shinier too. So again, packing it on this eye. And then I'm going to go with a clean finger. So the oils in your finger will kind of shiny up any of the little iridescent specks in that eyeshadow too. I'm going to go with the ring finger because it applies the least amount of pressure and kind of buff that out a little bit. Subtle, but it does give you a little bit more shine. So I'm going to go with kind of a mix between Cremated and Undertaker, so both of these shades here, and blend this into my lower lash line to give it a little bit more of a refined look. So for that, I'm going to be using a pencil brush, so something a little bit more detailed and intricate like this in order to kind of smudge it underneath the eye. So I'm going to dip into Cremated and a little dip into Undertaker, not a whole lot on the brush, and I'm just going to start building that up underneath. Bring that into the outer corner just a little bit. Kind of finish off this eye look. Last steps are going to be eyeliner and mascara. So I'm going to go in with a little bit of MAC Feline. It's going to be one of the blackest eyeliners that you can find. So I'm just going to liberally put it all over my lash line, not really focusing on perfection or anything, because it's going to be more of a smudged out look anyways. So just following that lash line. And then around the bottom as well. Then going back with that same crease brush, the pencil brush, I'm just gonna go right over the line we just drew. You don't have to worry about being a perfectionist with eyeliner if you use eyeliner in this way, because as you see, it's going to give you a little bit more of that smoked out, effortless look, but from afar, it looks very stylized and perfected still. So to finish off this eye look, I'm just going to use a little bit of Too Faced Better Than Sex Waterproof Mascara. It really does a trick to hold a lash curl. My lashes have zero curl. I curled them prior to taking the video, but this will make sure that it holds it all day too. And I always like to get the ends of them so that they have a little bit of color on it too. And I know a lot of people skip the bottom lash line, and I don't like skipping the bottom lashes. I feel like they really do complete a look when you put mascara there too. Right, and that's gonna be quick and easy lash or eye look. Go back and just kind of blend a little bit. We can kick this up a little bit of a notch and put the black in the waterline too, which I might do now that I look at it, just to add a little bit more intensity. So I'm just gonna pull my eye down and color right in the lash line. And then I'm gonna tight line on the top as well. And if you're wondering why I don't flinch, it's because I've been doing this since 9th grade. So now you can kind of see the difference between the two eyes. It's going to be a little bit more dramatic. It's dark all around, whereas this is still bright and open. I'm going for a little bit more dramatic today. All right. So the next step in this is going to be kind of completing the rest of my face. So I have concealer and foundation on, as well as my brows kind of filled in. But I was kind of seeing of where I was going to go with my eye look to decide what colors I want to put for my bronzer, my blush, and even my highlight, and then kind of picking out what kind of lip color I was going to wear for the day. Let me go ahead with the fluffy brush and take off some of the fallout. So I'm going to start with my contour shade, and I'm going to be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Kit. The shade I really like to use as a bronzer, even as a contour, is Havana. Kind of like a warm brown, but it has those kind of grayish taupe undertones, so it really does translate well as a contour color, at least for my skin tone. As a frame of reference, if you're familiar with matte colors, my skin tone is somewhere along the NC35, NC40 range, so if you're around that kind of color range, a little bit more of that golden cool tone, then this is going to be a really good contour color for you. So I'm just grabbing a little fluffy brush. This one happens to be by Morphe, and it's just gonna give you that dense fiber that's gonna really contour shape your face as well. So I'm gonna start with the hollow points of my cheeks and kind of blend it in. You can kind of start seeing that my cheekbones coming through. I really like seeing the warmth come back into your skin after you do an eye look, because I feel like putting your blush and your bronzer really just completes everything. So I'm also going to be putting this around my hairline. Not very gentle with it, so I'm going to mess up my hair doing this. I think we're good with bronzer there. I'm just going to do a little bit of nose contouring. So I've used to get into the habit of doing this when I really just wanted to go full glam, but I'm finding that after you contour or use bronzer of any kind, going back onto your nose just kind of gives you more dimension to your face anyways. So this has been becoming more of a everyday routine, some days more intense than others. I'm going to go pretty light today because I'm going to be out shopping after this, so kind of want to keep it a little bit more wearable. So I'm just going to go right on the sides of my nose just to kind of straighten it out. I used to try to do this straight on and it would be crooked every time, so I started looking at it from this perspective and I find that I can make a straighter line. You can see kind of the difference of where that line is now. Hope it picks up in the camera pretty well. I'm going to do the same for this side. And then with my finger, I just like to blend it out a little bit more. There we go. So for blush, I'm going to use my tried and trusted favorite color in the world. A little dirty, but this one is in the color Amberine Rose by MAC. I actually bought this color randomly online because I wanted to try a MAC blush forever ago, and this ended up becoming my favorite color in the entire world. So just a fluffy blush brush of any kind. I tend to get heavy-handed when I just go in with blush, so I like to bounce it on just to make sure I put on a little bit at a time. So keeping it on the apples of my cheeks, so where you smile and you see the roundness, that's where you're gonna apply it. And then I go ahead and blend that in. So I used to not be much of an iridescent person with blush, but what I like about this one is got that slight iridescence and gives you a little bit more of that glow. Okay, so now we got all of that on. I like color. I'm gonna grab just a little bit of a touch of it, get it right in the temples of my forehead too. Alright, now for my favorite step for skin. This is going to be the highlight. Obviously, it makes me really happy. This one is going to be the Becca Champagne Pop, kind of an homage to Jaclyn Hill, because she's one of my favorite YouTubers, so had to use one of her products. Recently, I really like using the Morphe F110 to put on highlighters. I never used to be much of a fluffy person to put on highlighters, but this works amazing, so let's get a good angle and blind you. That is bright. I always like to put a little touch of it at the top of my forehead. And then I will go with, again, my ring finger and straight down the nose, just to further make that contour you put on there pop. Also makes your nose look a little smaller. Deepest nose job you can get. So I usually end up covering up this highlight spot, but I do it nonetheless. Right on the top of my Cupid's bow. I'm all glowy. I'm going to go in with one of my favorite lip combinations. And it's going to be Whirl by MAC. It's MAC's lip pencil. As well as Tom Ford lipstick in the shade Pussycat. So Whirl is a really good mauve color. You can blend anything into it. It's pretty amazing. So I like to use this color because if my lips get dry later, I might just want to use a gloss and I could just pop it right over this lip pencil as well. I like to overline just in the center of my Cupid's bow just to make my lips look a little bit more full. Pussycat is actually going to be a little bit more of a blue-based pink. So that's why I'm going with this color, because I do have a little bit of blue on my eyes too. I'll show you how this swatches. Very pretty color, and it lasts pretty well too, because it is matte. And there you have it, a good every single day look that you can use with the Jeffree Star Blue Blood palette, as well as a couple of different base colors like Anastasia's Havana and MAC's Amberine Rose, Champagne Pop Highlight, and here's your look for every day.